Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good afternoon. I'm Jarrod Goldsmith, and I'd like to welcome you to this alternative to Zoom or Teams or any other virtual platform you're using. It is going to blow you away. I hope you're sitting down because you're going to fall over once you see some of the functionalities of this amazing interactive and intuitive platform. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm an event planner myself. I host events for entrepreneurs and small business owners in Ottawa, and I'm also a full-time musician. So when COVID hit, I had a 100% revenue drop overnight for both businesses. There was nothing we could do about it. And I thought, well, the show has to go on for many reasons. And I started looking for an alternative to host virtual events, not only my own, but other people's. Then I came across this platform, and it's really changed my life. I'm hosting events all around the world now, and it's so easy to use, it's intuitive, and I'm pleased that your events management program at Algonquin College has taken the step to explore an alternative to see if it would be applicable for your needs, not only now, but in the future. As event planners, you are all entrepreneurs. You're all going to be looking for ways to make things easier for your clients. And I think once people see this platform, it's going to blow them away. So right now, I should mention, we are in the presentation mode. Everybody, it doesn't matter if you're 400 or 400 people, everybody's camera and microphone is on mute. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't worry, relax. Now the fun part is I'm on stage, technically on stage. So everybody in the platform has no choice but to stare at the bobbing fedora on the stage. I can invite people on and off stage at will. We can share our screens. And when we were back in the lobby mode, that's when you first logged in, you saw with all the different tables. That is the mode where people would turn their cameras and microphones on. And that's where they would bounce to the different tables. But I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you. It's a high-level PowerPoint so you can explore some of the functionalities of the platform, and so you can understand and see if it would be a good fit for some of your needs. So right now, I am sharing my screen, and you'll notice at the top right of the screen, there are 4 arrows, out-pointing arrows. You could click on them, and it will poof, make it full size. And to get back, you hit escape, and it'll come back. There is also a chat feature. You'll notice, that some people have already started exploring that. On the top right of the screen, you'll see chat, participants, Q&A. If you make a note in the general chat, anybody in the platform can see it. It doesn't matter if you're in the lobby mode or in this presentation mode. If you have a question, please write them in the Q&A section at the top right of the screen. Hopefully pursuant to something about this platform, and then I'll leave some sections time later to review the Q&A to answer them. And at that note, you could also send private chats to everybody in the platform. And here's a really cool feature. Unlike Zoom, every time you send a private message to somebody, it opens up a new window. And then you could download your private chat later. So if somebody's sharing links or access, whatever. Because in Zoom, you have everybody message and then private, like in red, everybody in private. I don't know about you, but I've sent the odd note to everybody, which was meant to go private. It was very embarrassing. Here, it's never an issue because it opens up a new window every time. So it's saved my hat a few times. Now, on to the main show. So I want to thank you for joining us today. And what it is an alternative virtual platform for conferences, meetings, pretty much anything you can imagine. And it really is for event planners looking for an alternative way to host events. It's very versatile. Sorry, my sound is breaking up. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, okay. If you're having some issues like that, please refresh your screen. Once in a while, it's, if something's going funny on your tech issue, or let's say your kids are streaming or people are playing on the computer, it's dependent upon the connectivity on your end. If something's a little funny or you're not hearing or seeing anything, please refresh your screen. That's about 90% of the issues. Now, it's very versatile, this platform. Like I mentioned earlier, I host my one-on-one meetings on it, or groups or conferences, anything. now we're going to get into the fun part here. I briefly covered this earlier. In the presentation mode, everybody's camera and microphone are on mute. For me to invite people on and off the stage, it's quite simple. So for instance, I'm going to invite Karen Fitzpatrick as our guest speaker up on stage, and her colleague Sylvia Densmore. Sylvia and Karen, please click the option Join with Camera when you see the pop-up.
And yes, Melanie, we will be sharing this. Jarrod is recording it for us, so I will load the link into Brightspace.
Welcome. So at this time, all of you see myself, my shared PowerPoint, Karen and Sylvia on stage. Karen and Sylvia can also share their screens. They can share a PowerPoint, a YouTube video. For instance, if somebody's sharing a video, I could also share a video at the same time. So now you see a video pop up.
Hello, I'm Rick Mercer. Congratulations, Algonquin College Events Management Program on
So you can see how versatile it is. And as a behind-the-scene event planner, we can coordinate all this stuff behind the scenes. Our picture on camera doesn't need to be seen. So for instance, Sylvia and Karen, once it's time for your time off of stage, all you need to do is mute your camera and microphone as so, and you disappear behind the black curtain, if you will.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So I have a student right now who's trying to get in, and so I just went back to Zoom, so Menagor, and I've just been checking in the participants, and I don't see her. Can she just come in on her own, or does she have to be let in now separately from everybody else? Because I still don't see her, so okay. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, anybody with the link to access this event will have access to it. There is no need.
You don't have. There's no waiting room for her to wait to be let in. She'll just pop in.
And now that we are in presentation mode, anytime somebody uses this link, they will automatically be brought into presentation mode. So if we were in the lobby mode, then everybody, when they log in, will be brought into the lobby mode.
Site is not opening on system and on phone. On system and phone.
Well, how about this? So if anybody has any questions, please write them in the Q&A, and I'll check them occasionally. Also, if you have any questions, please write them in the general chat, and Jean-Paul Yovanov will be reviewing them as well. Okay, Sylvia or Karen, do you have any other thoughts at this time?
You're muted.
I have a student who can't get in. And you know what? This is actually kind of good because this is kind of like real life, right? Now, she's actually in Nigeria, in Africa. And I just posted the link in the site, and she's saying she can't get in. So what can I do to help her? Because, again, this could be real, right?
Sure, absolutely. You could ask her if if she has a stable internet connection. 2, it tends to work better on Google Chrome with a laptop or desktop.
Okay.
Mobile phones and tablets are not supported on this platform.
And they're not allowed in class. You're not allowed to use your phone.
Not the mobile phone, but the tablets, they are, Karen, and I believe she has both a mobile phone and tablet. So you can't use either to get into this?
You can. The functionalities are somewhat more limited. It's also more difficult on your phone to bounce to a different table because it's so small.
Right.
Email her the link.
Pardon?
Email her the link and see if that helps.
Email rather than, well, she's taking it out of the site, so I'll email it to her.
Is she saying the link isn't working?
Yeah, the link's not working.
So okay, email it to her.
Sylvia, can you please ask her to, one, refresh the screen and then close it and then open up a new Chrome doc, like just a new tab in Chrome.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get that working. Okay, at this time, so Karen and Sylvia, I'll remove you from stage. And if you'd like to come back up, please click the option Raise Hand.
Okay.
And then I'll see you and I'll be able to invite you up. Now, you saw how easy it is to invite people on and off stage. Like, I'm doing an award ceremony tomorrow for this organization in the UK. And they want to announce and thank all of the winners. So I invite them up on stage. Oh, I want to thank my dog and my mom and my grandma. Great. And when they're done, I take them off stage. Next person. Really simple. Okay, moving right along. Like we mentioned, this is being recorded. Only the time in the presentation mode can be recorded. We could also stream directly live on YouTube or Vimeo. And what's nice about that is, for instance, I was doing an event a few weeks ago. I was streaming live to my YouTube channel. I took that link and then I shared it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and I believe Twitter as well. So anybody was able to view it in one link. Is really cool. When we record in this platform, it saves a file in this platform. Then it's always a best practice to download that. And then you could add background music or, get rid of the ums and ahs and then post it to your YouTube channel. All of you who are not on stage will not be recorded. So we don't have to worry about confidentiality issues. Your picture, your graphic, all of the chat feature is not being recorded. It's only the people who are up on stage. Okay, moving right along. Like I mentioned quickly earlier, there is the Q&A section at the top right. That's where you could ask your questions. And there's a really neat feature to upvote. Let's say you're doing a conference for 200 people and there's a panel of 3 on stage. People might ask the same question 20 times. Here, one person asked the question, you could see it, like, oh yeah, that's a good question. I want to ask that question. You can upvote that question. So for instance, I am sending a message in the Q&A section, and you'll notice it says, have you used Zoom before? You're like, yeah, of course I've used Zoom before. Okay, you can upvote. You see next to the question, there's a little up arrow in black. And I think, yeah, looks like a whole bunch of you are starting to use that. If you upvote it, it will bring it right to the top of the screen. So as the moderator for a panel discussion, you can say, okay, everybody, this question was asked by Anthony Chio. Anthony asked, have you used Zoom before? And I say, oh, wow, yeah, so far there's 5 people or 6 people who've upvoted it, so you might want to ask that question. And once that question has been asked, we can delete that question. And we could also, at the end of the event, download all of the Q&As that have been asked. It's very simple to update your virtual business card. Like for instance, for the 7 students who are doing their long-term placement with me, you'll notice that they have an avatar that says help desk because they're actually helping out. And it makes it simple for attendees to see where to go for help. At the top right of your screen, you'll see an icon with the first letter of your first name. You left click it. You could do it now, that's okay. I got time. At the top left, you click My Profile, and then you can update your profile. You could add a graphic of yourself or of your organization. You could have a little header. You could copy and paste your LinkedIn, a Facebook, a YouTube video, a Calendly booking option. It's quite explanatory, it's self-explanatory, so that when you are networking, anybody can hover over and see who you are. Okay, this is what the main lobby looks like. You'll notice that the floor plan is slightly different than the one we're currently using now. Depending on the needs of your event, there are a variety of floor plans we could choose from, or we could even create custom floor plans. I mean, there's a cost for that, but once you have a custom floor plan, you can keep reusing it over and over again. Actually, some of you might know the Children's Aid Foundation in Ottawa. They held a huge World Trivia Night back on November 13, and another smaller VIP event a few weeks before that. We had over 550 people using this platform. It was so easy to do. They used a similar floor plan, but they had tables of 8. Now, I mentioned when somebody logs in for the first time, as you all would have realized, when we were in the lobby mode, everybody's camera and microphone is off by default. What they need to do is at the bottom of the screen, oh, I can't click it in this mode, but you see it in this PowerPoint slide at the bottom, there's an arrow, it's pointing to the camera, or the chat feature rather. When you are interacting with people, it's only with people in that particular room. You'll see everybody else in the platform, but you're only talking to people in the table you're in. So if I'm in a let's say table 1, here, actually, let me just get out of this mode for a sec. Oh, and of course, that just set everything back to default. Okay, so here, so for instance, if I'm sitting in this room and I see, oh, there's our friend Dylan Black and Michael Lifshitz. So if Michael and Dylan and Christina and I are sitting in this table, we won't be able to talk to people face-to-face if they're sitting in this table or any other table. They have to be in the same table as you. So that's one of the main reasons, options that everybody has to understand in this platform. To bounce to a different table, very simple. You find the table you want to go to. You could hover your mouse over who they are, and you could see their virtual business card if they've actually included some detail. And to bounce to a different room, you double click, and it just takes it. You immediately exit your current table and brings you to that other table. There's no need to have a moderator physically bounce you back and forth like Zoom. And here you could see all of the other tables on the same floor plan. Okay, actually, I'm just going to check the Q&A. So this question was asked by Stephen Recker. How do you use a virtual backdrop like in Zoom? Does this platform also have an integration to Facebook Live and YouTube Live? YouTube Live, yes. We could stream live. I need another coffee. Stream directly to YouTube. Facebook Live, not yet. But what I would suggest is, like I quickly mentioned earlier, you take the link on YouTube Live and then you share that one. There is no option for a virtual background at this time in this platform. Like I actually have 2 8-foot banners sitting behind me, but there is other options you can use, like XSplit. It's a screen sharing program to have virtual platform. Jean-Paul can talk about that shortly. Have you used Zoom before? Yep. How do we fix the chipmunk audio? I'm not sure what that means, Anthony. Maybe Jean-Paul can help with some settings issues. Will the slide be shared on Brightspace? I don't know what Brightspace is, Melanie, but I will be setting this recording to Sylvia and Karen at a later time. Say, oh boy, lots of stuff in the general chat. This is excellent. Thank you everybody for posting there. I'm not having a chance to manage that, but feel free to use it as you wish. And if there are any tech questions, Jean-Paul will be answering that. And Jean-Paul will be coming up momentarily to explain a little bit more about how he uses the platform. Okay, let's get back to the nicer view. Oh, of course, we go back to the main screen. There. Tables are limited by the size. There are certain restrictions. In this particular floor plan that I'm sharing right now, you'll see the tables on the left and the tables on the right are tables of 2, and then 4, and then 6 in the middle. Once the maximum number of people has been reached in a particular table, nobody else can join that table. This floor plan, for instance, is my floor plan of choice. I'm doing a huge event Wednesday, Thursday this week for the Office of Small and Medium Enterprises. And for other conferences, they said, okay, well, what if we want to have a breakout room of 2 people, private room? I said, no problem, it's perfect for this. I would say, okay, Jennifer, meet me at table 26 on the right-hand side. And then both you and Jennifer would bounce into table 26. If it's a table of 2, it's a private room. Nobody else can join that table. Oh, I glossed over it earlier. You could hover over somebody's avatar. Again, not available now because we're in presentation mode, but when we're back in the lobby mode, and we'll have some time for everybody to explore that. When we're in the lobby mode, you move your mouse over and you see the other person's name. And if they've included information, say LinkedIn, then all you need to do is click on the button. It opens up LinkedIn right to their profile. There is nothing easier for networking than this platform. It's unbelievable. Anybody in each of the different rooms or on stage can share their screen with one another. For instance, I'm sharing a PowerPoint right now. Duh. And there's also the chat feature. Like right now, you'll notice the chat feature is at the top right of the screen. In the lobby mode, the chat feature is in the bottom. What's neat about this is there's 3 options for chat. One is the general chat, which looks like quite a few are already exploring. Anybody in the whole platform can see it. 5 or 500 people, doesn't matter. mean, the more people, right? It's fast and furious, lots of stuff happening. The second option is table chat. It's say you and 5 of your BFFs are in table 1. You can have an option for table chat where only the people in table 1 will see it. You could send attachments, you could send general messages, but only those people. If you're in table 6 and you use the table chat, only people in table 6 will see it. Third option for chat is private chat. And as I mentioned quickly, I think it was in the Zoom call earlier, once you open a private chat, it opens up a brand new window. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, yeah. Right now it's not applicable because if I zoom in, I'm going to go through a whole bunch of screens in the PowerPoint, but you could use the mouse feature, you know, the zoom in, zoom out, and see who people are in the platform. And you can see more of the floor plan. Because you see, in this particular floor plan, it's very busy. All of the table names, or most of the table names, have been renamed. So if you want to see it, let's say you can't see very well, you could zoom in and zoom out. Oh, you could also hold the button down and pan around the entire room. So for instance, this is what you could do in the lobby mode. You could move it around. I'm afraid to go back. It might boot me back to, let's try, yeah, okay. All right, let's get back to where we were. There we go, perfect. It's a really great platform for promoting sponsors and stakeholders. You'll notice that, well, depending on the floor plan, in this floor plan, you see I'm promoting BDC and Startup Canada, Invest Ottawa, Ottawa Special Events, who I'm sure some of you are familiar with. Mike Wood's a good friend of mine. You could have a graphic of them, and then when you click it, you could have them direct to anywhere you want for them to visit. We talked about each table can be renamed. So if you're having, let's say, a whole bunch of vendors at each of the tables, let's say you're having a Christmas vendor show. You say have one person selling candles, one person selling bath bombs. Great. Each table can be renamed. So we have table 1, bath bomb lady. Table 2, candle man. Well, because each table is a separate standalone room, the public comes around, oh, I need a bath bomb. I'm going to get some for my boyfriend. Then you double click into that room and you're only interacting with the bath bomb guy. And if you want to go and get a few candles for dinner, then you could double click into the candle room. So that's why it's so intuitive for conferences and trade shows. You don't need a moderator like Zoom. Anybody can see it and move around if they want. There's a whiteboard feature. And I think for you guys who are doing silent auctions, you're going to love it. For instance, this is what a whiteboard can look like. I just created this quickly. And actually, when we go back into the floor plan, you'll see tables, I don't know, like tables 6, 7, 8 are silent auctions. So I created this in about 3 minutes, not even. So anybody who bounces into, let's say, table 7 will see number 7, which is the table, silent auction, Sens jersey. Anybody can double click a spot to enter their name in a bid, exit that table and say, okay, we want to go into the next silent auction table. They bounce to the next one over. It records everything. You don't have to stay in that room. So at the end of the night, you could go back and say, oh boy, the Sens jersey, it's at $90. Yeah, I'm going to bid $95 or $100 because in this case, I have $10 increments. Silent auctions have never been easier. Oh, you're going to love this. Live auctions. Okay, let's go. Now, this is how a live auction would be done on this platform. Let's say we're promoting this Sens jersey. Okay, great. Anybody in the platform as an attendee, which all of you are right now, have 2 options. You see in the middle bottom of the screen, raise hand or quit event. When you click raise hand, a little hand will pop up. I could see it under the participants icon at the top right. Okay, so do I hear $10 for this jersey? Karen, $10. Dilmit, $20. Anthony, Dimet, another $50. Do I hear $100 for this? Anthony, well, who else do we got there? Rivet, it's too fast and furious. Oh my God, $300, $1,000. Emily, oh no way. Anthony, Anthony really wants this. Woo, 200,000 in real time. And every time I am announcing this, I'm removing the hand. So at any time, people can keep raising their hand, and that's how we do a live auction. Sakshi, you just almost got it. So you see how easy it is for live auctions. It's almost better than real life. I mean, unless you have to have a very animated moderator to keep everybody's attention. But Fadwa, $500,000. Zoe, unbelievable! I mortgaged my house. Great. So that's how simple it is for live auctions. Oh yeah, everybody's liking that one. We talked earlier a bit about breaking out into the smaller rooms. And this is why I thought your whole program might benefit from this platform. Because I understand that each group is made up of what? 6, 7, 8 students in any one group. Everybody can meet on this platform in a different room. So you have group 1, group 2, group 3. At the assigned time, everybody logs into this platform. You go to your table where you're supposed to be. You brainstorm. You talk amongst yourselves. And when it's time for Sylvia or Karen to get everybody's attention, we come back into presentation mode. Then they would be up on stage. And then you can designate a table rep up on stage to talk about what you discussed amongst your group. When you're done, you remove that person, you invite the next table rep up. I can't imagine anything easier than this. Okay, I'm looking back at the Q&As. Marina, how do we hover to a different table? You double click an empty seat. No tech required, that's it. From Dimnet, when you say that this does not support the mobile platform, does it mean that if we use this platform in our main event happening in March, if it's outside, he cannot do it? Mobile phones will work. It does take a lot of juice on your phone, and depending on the connectivity. But if you're using a mobile phone and you're a presenter, you cannot be invited up on stage. So let's say Karen was only using a mobile phone. She couldn't join us up on stage at this time. Great, thank you. Any other questions, please write them in the Q&A section. Oh, now for consideration, there are a variety of cool services that our friend Jean-Paul has that I would like to invite Jean-Paul up on stage to talk about a few things. He's really pushing the boundaries on what's available in virtual platforms. And he knows the platform as well as I do. I mentioned earlier, he's the one who created all these promo videos. So Jean-Paul, the floor is yours.
Hey, thank you, Jared, for that presentation of yours. I've already heard it like 40 times, so that's why I'm looking in the general chat, answering all the questions. My name is Jean-Paul Jovanov. I have been working with the program for a long time. I left for a while. I ran a photo booth company back in 2014 to 2017 in the real world. And I used to go to pretty much every single one of your events. And I did about 25 of them over that time. And I got to know the program and the people very well. Then I went away for a little bit and started doing something else. I moved back to Toronto because that's where I am right now. And as we all know, we all got hit by COVID. It shut down everything, and we all had to pivot. And just like Jarrod did, he moved on to these virtual platform, Remo, and he introduced this to me about March of this year. And what I've been doing is I don't really put on events myself. I do a few of them because I run a internet radio station called Musical Theater Radio, and I do some stuff with that. But what I've been doing is I created a niche for myself, because all of you are putting on events. You need the platform, you need all your stuff. But what I've done myself is I've created a website as a support staff. Here, I will share my screen. And you'll have a better idea of kind of what I do. So as you can see, I've created a one-stop shop for your virtual event needs. Now, there you go. You can click on it to make it a little bit bigger to see. I'm going to do that so I can see it. And as you can see, I've created all of these things that I can do. I can create a virtual party radio station. So as you know, music's an important aspect of any event. But the problem is, and you've probably seen lately on the news, Twitch has been taking down a lot of the videos because of this DMCA rule, which is it's a lot of technical stuff. It stands for Digital Millennial Copyright Act, and you can't play copyrighted music in the background because they'll take it down because none of the artists are getting work, are getting paid, et cetera, et cetera. So I created this virtual radio station where legally in the US, Canada, and the UK, you can play this in the background of your events. It pops up as a separate window, and you can adjust the volume just like any terrestrial radio station. So you can still keep the volume of your speaking and your event at one level and adjust the volume of the background music for another. For example, virtual backgrounds. As Jarrod had mentioned before, if you go to my site, you can click on it, and I have links to learn how to do all this stuff. There is a program, the XSplit VCam, which is fantastic. I only discovered it a couple of weeks ago. And what it does, it creates, without using a green screen, a background. And it can be used on Zoom, it can be used on Remo, it can be used on pretty much any platform because it is a separate program. The nice thing is it's free to use. Now, unfortunately, you have the V-Split VCam logo still in the corners of it, but that's up to you. You can also pay, I think it's $50 for, I think it's a lifetime, and be able to modify that as well. Some of the other things that I've discovered, as becoming a support staff, is I can do virtual stage managing for pretty much almost like 6 or 7 different platforms. Remo is my major one. I can do that one, but I also use, there is a thing called, what is it on here? So you can see all the platforms that I can help run. There's Remo. I can do stuff on Zoom, AirMeet, StreamYard, which is very cool because StreamYard's more of a production studio where you can, project and broadcast from it. There's a new one that I'm working with, Vardy, which is completely different than Zoom. I'm Zoom and Remo. I love Remo. Remo is a fantastic platform, but Vardy is kind of like, imagine going to a cocktail party or going into a bar and being able to wander around like that. It's something, if somebody is interested in, you can go to my website and learn more about it, or you can talk to me about it as well. I'm an event speaker. I talk on many different subjects as well. If you need voiceovers, I can do that. I've created videos for Jarrod, support videos for Remo and other things like that. I know Jarrod's mentioned online auctions, but sometimes you want a little bit deeper in depth with it. I've talked to a company called 32auctions.com, which is free to use if you have, I think it's under 40 items or something like that. It's a very cool auction platform that I wanted to hook up with because their whole purpose was to help companies and things like that. So it's very cool. I liked them. I'm working on, like I said, support videos and support things for events, and I'm finalizing my Trivia Masters, which is I'll be able to run trivia events and things like that. So what I did was I pivoted just like Jarrod did and discovered that people like yourselves who are putting in events need support staff as well. So I just wanted to throw this at you. You can take a look at it. You might need some of our stuff in the future. You might not, but I'm here as a resource. Like I said, I worked with this program, so I know exactly what you're going through on the back end. I used to be a mentor for a bunch of years for the program as well. If there's any questions, let me go check the Q&A right quick. Is there no way for attendees to have their faces shown like Zoom? Right now, it is like a theater. All my background is in theater. So basically we're on stage. When you are with the tables, the show hasn't started yet. Once the lights go down, we're on stage. So no, there is no way to show faces when you're in the presentation or on stage like Zoom, unfortunately. Personally, I like that. I don't want to see the faces. That's a whole thing. What does it cost by attendees, customizable, and time? I'm not sure what that's in reference to, so I'm not sure how to answer that question, if it was even directed at me. But that's about it. Jarrod, do you want to come back? Karen, Sylvia, do you want to come back on the stage and talk some more? I'm going to be out in the audience answering any questions about Remo or anything that you might want to ask about your events as well. All right, Jarrod, it's all yours again.
Well, thank you, Jean-Paul. I've just invited Karen and Sylvia back up on stage. Perhaps you guys like to say a few words.
I think all I would say is these are our people. We've been working with these gentlemen for years. So if Remo is something you are interested in, I know Jarrod and Jean-Paul have very generously, thank you, gentlemen. They've worked with us for years, so they've always donated their time to us. So I guess this wasn't a stretch for them. Thank you, gentlemen. They have offered to help host your events should you choose to use Remo. So I can't thank you enough. That is like, one of the students actually asked, how much does it cost? Remo is not a cheap platform, I'm not gonna lie. So it makes a lot more sense for many organizations, not all. Some it would make sense to purchase Remo as a platform. But if you're only going to be using Remo for short periods of time, it actually makes more sense to go through Jarrod. I mean, once you've graduated, to go through Jarrod or an organization like you who will host the event on Remo for you because he already owns that time on the platform. So just throwing that out there.
And Anthony asked about how they're going to use the platform if they only get a 2-week trial. And actually, if you choose to do this for your event for the charity in March, Jarrod and Jean-Paul have offered to work with you. So if you would like to work with them, then you need to reach out and let them know. For some events, I know there are some events it's going to it would be perfect sense for you. If you're thinking of having, groups in small numbers, if you're going to have large numbers in your groups, it won't. But when you want to put people in the various groups, but I know for some of you it would make perfect sense. And again, thank you so much for inviting us into for this demonstration. I think the students have learned a ton. They're very excited. I don't want to delay much longer going back to class because we do have a student who could not get in.
Okay,
so,
actually, I'm not quite done yet my presentation. Can I wrap up in like 4 minutes?
Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. So at this time, Karen, I'm going to remove you from stage, and Jean-Paul and Sylvia, and we might as well just continue our presentation really quickly. At the end of every event, we will have access to everybody's first name, last name, email address, when they registered, when they logged in, when they logged out. This platform does not accept payment of any kind. So if you're selling tickets or booths or sponsorships, you will need to use a third-party ticketing platform like events.com or Eventbrite. And this is exactly what I said. And like I think we're all getting used to, once you check out, let's say Eventbrite, then you would be given the link to attend this event. Most people won't have an issue with this platform. Like that's why Jean-Paul and I, and actually the 7 students who are doing their long-term placement, will soon realize that there's a variety, I call it a laundry list of tech issues to get things working. I'm sure if we spent some time working with your student colleague who can't log in, we'd have her sorted out soon. In sum, it's wise to upload your picture, connect social media. You bounce between tables by double-clicking an empty seat. You're only talking to people in that table. And you have the 3 options for chat: the general chat, the table chat, or private chat. It really is a better way to host events. It's easy for attendees, guest speakers. It's as close as you could come to a networking event. It's simple to fundraise for silent or live auctions. Jean-Paul and I are here to help you host your events, and really, it's the future. We don't know when we're going back to face-to-face events, but there will probably be at least hybrid events going forward. Oh, like I mentioned, Jean-Paul has created a whole bunch of these short little promo videos. Let me get there. Yeah, here we go. So I'm sharing this in the general chat again. Yeah, it's never going away. I agree. Oh, and this is my day job now, is hosting events at esax.ca, or easy to get a hold of, info@esax.ca. I've shared this link a few times. If you'd like to explore it on your own, I should mention it is an affiliate link. There's no cost on your end. You won't see any difference. But if you do decide to sign up for a paid version, I will get compensated down the road. Other than that, oh, thank you, Sophia. I appreciate that. Other than that, I don't get paid for doing these demos. So if you were to share the link, please share this link. I would really appreciate it. Music's not cutting it these days, so every little bit helps. Almost done. Right, so I want to thank you so much for taking the time to check out this platform. Of course, I had a really nice last slide I want to share, and it just reset to the beginning. There we go, thank you. Our whole job, Jean-Paul and I, is to make your events run smooth. This is what I tell all my clients. This is what I'm telling you, because as an event planner, you want to have people experience a great event, either in person or virtual. What do they need to do? I tell people, you send me all the details for your event. I populate it virtually. I give you a demo dry run for your stakeholders and sponsors and speakers. They know what to do. They've reviewed the promo videos. I give them the link. They get butts and seats. They don't have to do anything else. I take care of everything virtually, make it easy. And then, oh, sorry, I guess I should turn my emails off. And the shared screen, that helps. And Jean-Paul and I are here to do exactly that. So I hope this gave you an understanding on the platform to see if it would be a good option, not only for the program itself, but for all of you individual planners. And let's say somebody had a question, my event's in March. You could wait till March to sign up for a trial, for the 2-week trial. Or if you really want to get a good understanding of it, you sign up now. In 3 weeks, use a different email address, you get a whole new trial. But it would be great if you could please use that link that I shared, much appreciated. So thank you so much, everybody. At this time, I'll just invite Sylvia up on stage and Karen one more time in case they have any last minute issues, because I would like to go explore the lobby mode a bit more before we leave, because that's really where the fun is for attendees.
That's funny. I was going to ask you, I was going to put it in the chat and ask if you would let them just go into the lobby mode. And now that they know they can easily double click around, I think it's a great experience for students to just network.
Yeah.
Perfect. So thanks very much, everybody. We're going to stick around for a little while, answer any questions, and we're here to help. Really
Thanks again for your time.
Thanks, John.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. When we go back into lobby mode, don't forget to turn your cameras and microphones on at the bottom of the screen. Thanks, everybody.